Hello and welcome to LearningBook. My name's James Huntington, the founder. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this presentation. What I'd like to do during this presentation is introduce LearningBook to you and show you some of the many benefits of the smart tablet and also the parental engagement. LearningBook was formed by educational professionals and IT experts with the sole purpose of making the process of learning journeys simpler, quicker and more importantly useful for staff. We also want to drive parental engagement and improve the way that parents engage and interact with their child's learning journey. Both aims underpinned with safeguarding. We take safeguarding very seriously at LearningBook, which is why our software only runs on our purpose-built tablets. Okay, so where are you today with learning journeys? Typically you probably have a camera and a post-it note or a pile of notes in your room or classroom, and there you'll see a child doing an activity, you'll record it on the camera, take a picture of the child and scribble down some notes. Later you'll file that away in a scrapbook or the learning journey paper book and look at what various areas of the curriculum that might be relevant to. This is obviously very time consuming. We reckon on average 7 to 10 hours per week you use in compiling the learning journey. Staff also see this as a chore and it's also relatively costly. From a parent's point of view, it's quite tricky for them to see what the child's doing in the classroom. Typically they can only see the learning journey at parents' evening or at drop-off or pick-up times, which we know are quite busy. It's also very difficult for them to contribute to that learning journey. The lack of engagement is also a challenge in that environment in the sense that they do not know what the child's been doing in the classroom. From a heads and managers point of view, it's often very difficult to get a good overview of what's going on unless you have a separate tracking system. And even then, re-entering the data is very time consuming and often quite out of date in the sense that you'd only compile that information at the end of the term. So what does the world look like with LearningBook? We like to call it a simpler future, where staff have reduced admin times, they have more time to spend with the children because they're spending less time compiling the old-fashioned paper learning journeys. Parents are also much more engaged in what the child is learning and developing and can also contribute to that learning. From heads and managers' point of view, because all the information is stored centrally, they get a really comprehensive overview of what's going on in their early years setting. Because all the information is stored there, they can produce reports at will and on demand. So how does LearningBook deliver on the promise of a simpler future? Well, there are three areas to LearningBook. The first is what we call the smart tablet that allows you to record observations in the classroom. You can record photo, video, audio and text formats, as well as review and link to the relevant area of the curriculum, including characteristics of effective learning, and you can also enter your next steps. Once the observation has been recorded on the smart tablet, it's sent to the online learning journal, from where parents can access this over any standard internet connection through a web browser. They log on with a username and password which you control, and you can enable or disable access at any time. They can also leave individual comments against each observation, as well as upload their own media captured at home for you to contribute to the child's learning development. The third part of LearningBook is the administration portal. This is where you carry out all your administration tasks, including setting up and editing child details. You can view the online learning journal, see parents' comments, as well as running the tracking and reporting. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to find out more about LearningBook, please watch our other videos which cover the smart tablet, online learning journal, and administration portal.